Hey YouTube comic community, welcome back to the channel. Today we are counting down the top 10 independent comic books in my collection. Stay tuned. Hey YouTube comic community, this is Jimmy the Geek Aficionado, and I want to welcome you back to the channel. And today, as I said in the intro, we're counting down the top 10 independent comic books in my collection. Now, there's been a lot of love given to DC, Marvel, through the many videos that I've put out, but today it's all about the indies, right? And we're going to take a stroll through memory lane on the independent books that I enjoy, because none of these books were printed in the last decade. That much I can guarantee. Starting off with number 10 is Evil Ernie number 2. This is from Eternity Comics. It was published in 1992. Here I graduated high school. And this features the first cover appearance of Lady Death. Now, if you're not familiar who Lady Death is, I don't know. Are you like a rock? I don't know how to answer that question at all. But if you want to know more about, I'd say consider checking her out, because Platinum Blonde there has been pretty significant in give that a look if you haven't already. Number 9 is actually the first appearance of that same character, as well as this kind of nasty looking guy on the cover. This is Evil Ernie. It's Evil Ernie number 1, again from Eternity Comics, released in 1991, December 1991, and this features the first appearance of Lady Death. Now, as you can tell, my penchant for linear collecting, thanks to Otto and 3 Men in the Basement, is not lost on this particular set of books here, both getting the 94 grade, so very thankful for that. Coming in at number 8 is everybody's favorite Samurai Bunny. This is Usagi Yojimbo number 1, and this is a book that I've enjoyed from childhood, first released in Fantagraphics books. Print is here, and I've enjoyed the character ever since. I picked this particular book up for $1 at a library at a 9.6 on it when I'm incredibly happy. This is an all-time favorite from long ago, and happy addition. Actually, number 7 is a relatively recent purchase. I picked this up, I do believe, last year, earlier part of last year, from a relatively new comic book store, and it's Kamikos Primer number 2, featuring the first appearance of Matt Wagner's Grendel. This character has actually recently been picked up to do some stuff on the big screen, or small screen, one of those, and is an incredibly difficult book to find, especially in good condition. And this guy's probably about an 8.5 or better, with also astonishing book that's completely black. It came out in the 80s, a relatively low print run, and not picked up by a lot of people, cared for and loved throughout the year. Number 7, Kamiko Primer number 2, first appearance of Grendel. Now here's a little bit of 90s love. Number 6 is 22 Brides, issue number 1. Now, it's kind of funny, like it's either issue number 1 or it's issue number 4, but the character Jane Vasco actually appears in issue number 1. So this is her first appearance along with the rest of the brides. The great event comic that was created by Jimmy Palmiotti. And I want to say, yeah, you know what, Quesada and Palmiotti, that's right. So this was created by Jimmy Palmiotti and Joe Quesada. If you're not familiar with who I'm talking about, maybe this will jog your memory. It's the first appearance of the character who becomes Painkiller Jane. Decently long-running TV show for Painkiller Jane as well. Some of it wasn't okay. It was okay. But the comics have always been significantly better, and an enjoyable character who just can't get killed. Number 5 goes to the master, Dave Stevens. Planet Comics number 1. Incredible cover that has been homaged by legends like Adam Hughes, and it's really still a difficult book to pick up. And I wanted to send this one in. It is a clean looking copy, but it did have a little bit of rust in your staples, and that kind of gets a little bit of a hit. Can't get it cleaned off with guy raw. but it's still a beautiful copy nonetheless, and that's Planet Comics #1 with a cover by Dave Steve. Getting into a little bit more of the significance of the 90s and my particular comic collecting at that time when I viewed my comic purchasing at that time, the most interesting characters that I had seen come out, that whole pantheon of new Image Comics titles and characters, was that of the Darkness. Jackie Estacado, a man who is cursed with a bloodline that gives him these really strange abilities to become the Darkness and control this horde of little demons down here. The story by Garth Ennis and art by Mark Silvestri puts it over the top. It's a fantastic book. This copy here, signed by Mark Silvestri back in 2019. Just a great book for me and a cherished part of my collection. Now, we wouldn't have the Darkness if we didn't first have the Mike Turner and Dave Wohl's incredible creation comics. Set a new standard in quality, not just art, but also story. A compelling new character who is, well, connected to a medieval or immortal gauntlet, gives her incredible power. The art is astonishing, writing is fantastic. #3, Witchblade #1. Coming in at the #2 spot is a book that is very near and dear to me because I followed the comic as well as the movie. The movie I saw a significant number of times, probably too many actually state publicly. But #2 is The Crow #1. Sadly, this is a second print copy, but it is all that I've got at the moment. Looking for that coveted first print as well as the Caliber Press comic where first appearance act up. But The Crow #1 by James O'Barr. A #1 will be no stranger to anyone who's seen some of my other videos that have showcased this book, but it's definitely the most significant title I have in the Independents, as well as the most valuable. This is Strangers in Paradise, issue #1. Beautiful 9-point. Features the first appearance of Francine and Kachu. These two characters have had a long-running history by artist and writer Terry Moore, and if you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. Pick up the trades because these things are scarce. It's an enjoyable read as well as great art. It is my choice for #1 top 10 video. Thank you all for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it fun and entertaining. If you did, please go ahead and click on the like button. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel and you'll find more great content when it comes out. Ring that notification bell and we'll let you know. Want to get in touch with me? You can find me on Instagram at the Geek Aficionado. Thanks again.